Screen share. Okay, right. Louisa, thank you for having a chat with me. I just wanted to have a little quick kind of discussion about what you actually saw as an audience member for your Arts Awards, so your Part B. So from what I can see, and I came with you, so I do know a little bit about the exhibition, but you went to see the Somerset House exhibition 24/7. Could you just tell us what it was? Like, what was it all about from your memory? I know it was a couple of months ago, but and we can have a little chat about it.
So it was basically about kind of how sleep affects our daily lives, in short words.
Yeah. It was very much about sleep and the pace of our lives. It was about it was almost some of the artists. Tell me about the artists involved, because there was quite a lot of different types of artwork in there. Do you remember what was in there? So what sort of art forms were involved?
It was mainly kind of like lighting and sculpture, because there were like different rooms basically. For example, in some of them there would be maybe a big screen on the wall or audio coming from the ceiling or something. But it was more kind of physical than it was visual, I think. If that makes sense.
When you say physical, it was. What do you mean? Do you mean kind of like? So there's a word in art that you can use, which is immersive. Sort of, so you kind of when the audience walks through, it's sort of they're immersed in these environments where they're exploring and quite immersed in the work. Would you think that that's kind of what it was?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it was really interesting. I think it's quite a lot of work, wasn't there? Like there was a lot to see. I feel like literally we could have been there for 2 days and still not seen everything. You find that? What was the experience like walking around the gallery? Like, what could you go into a little bit more detail as to what impact it had on you?
I think as soon as I got in there, I felt very calm, very relaxed, like I was safe, if that makes sense. It was just really nice.
What do you think that was? What do you think? Yeah.
I think it was probably knowing I was in it was like a dark place. Like the lighting was dimmed. It was very kind of enclosed off from everything else. It was very kind of dreamy and sleepy.
It was, wasn't it? Yeah. You were very much. They created a specific world for us to be in while we were there, wasn't it? No, I agree with you. Apart from me worrying about where everyone was, it was quite relaxing. Was there one particular work that you quite liked? Can you remember? I know it was a while ago.
I quite liked the room. It's called I Heard There Was a Secret Chord. It was really quite calming because there was kind of humming in the background with microphones kind of hanging down from the ceiling, where if you were to speak into it, then the seat would vibrate, and it was a nice atmosphere in there.
Yeah, and what do you think? I know you're going to be writing this in your post, but what do you think the message of that piece was? Because it was right at the end of the exhibition, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it was kind of. Oh, it's hard to put into words. It was probably just. Oh, I'm trying to think now. I can't. Think.
It doesn't. There's no right or wrong, actually. I think there's a lot of those works. There isn't a right or wrong. From what I got was it sort of like a lot of the artists were exploring the negative portrayals and representations of life, the fast-paced nature of life, the fact that we're not slowing down, and all that kind of thing. And then right at the end, there's this kind of sort of culmination of lots and lots of voices all together. It's like this collective act where everyone's kind of come together, and it was quite meditative, I would say, like maybe quite harmonious, whereas everything else in the exhibition felt like it was really sort of a critique on our lifestyle. Does that, I don't know if you resonate with that?
Yeah, that definitely, it makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, that was just one take that I took from it, but it was. I particularly like the song as well, and I like singing, so I really enjoyed that last piece. yeah, I mean, I think in terms of all the different types of works that we saw, I mean, there was video work, there was photography, um, I don't know what else was there. There was yeah, installations. Oh, there was that one that was the ticking the clock one. Do you remember that one?
Yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah, I can't remember what the name of it was, but do you remember what it was about?
I think it was. I think it was probably saying like time doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if I'm like here for 12 hours ticking at a clock, or if I'm somewhere else, maybe.
Mm. Yeah, and the actual fact that he was sitting there for 12 hours ticking his clock on the hands on his clock, whether or not he was actually doing it, we're not sure, because I think there's a bit of debate about whether he was actually doing it. But yeah, it posed that question of like, what is time and our relationship to time, and the fact that we don't have often feel like we don't have much time, but actually he had loads of time because he was doing he was sitting there doing that. It's quite interesting thinking about time now we're in isolation as well, like how our life is, the pace of life is changed. Do you feel that? Do you feel that like things have changed now you're in isolation?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's a strange one. I feel like not like I don't feel that my week is the same length anymore. It's really weird. I feel like all time kind of merged into one, and like weekends have become Mondays, and it's all that kind of, you can't necessarily get a sense of what life was like before this now. It's a very strange situation that we're all in.
Yeah.
But I think like being in isolation has forced us to stop and just to think about what we're doing and to slow down. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think it's definitely had like changes with the environment as well, because people have been forced to like not travel, not go on planes and stuff, and it's just shown us that it is quite easy to change things, but you just have to listen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is. And actually, it shows that we can do it. We can, as a world, as an Earth, we can slow down and kind of go backwards in a way, or even things about climate and reversing all the damage that's been done so far. Perhaps there is a way out, for that, which is promising, I hope. Okay, last but not least, I just wanted to go over this one. Could you just talk us through the weird robot birds that were in there? Can you remember that? And what was it
Yeah,
about?
I think, I'm trying to remember. I believe it was kind of how easily we are tricked into things, because the study was showing birds in a box getting food generated randomly to them by them, like they would do like movements, thinking that that was giving them food, and it shows how gullible they were, and it kind of reflects on us. For example, with maybe video games, if we get prizes on there, we want to do everything we can to get it again. So we'll kind of do things that aren't relevant,
Mm.
and that's the way they trick us. I think it just shows how gullible we've become.
Mm. And how does that make you feel as a human? And how does that make you feel? Do you use your phone a lot? Are you guilty of using your phone too much, do you think?
Oh god, yeah, I use it like all the time.
Do you think this exhibition has encouraged you to think differently about your own lifestyle?
Yeah, I definitely think so.
Yeah, it did for me. It definitely made me question what I do. I think that's kind of the power of art, right? Is that it can kind of yeah, it can make you think in a different way, or challenge your a preconceived perception about something, or it can kind of draw light onto social issues that we hadn't necessarily thought about. I think this exhibition, and most exhibitions at Somerset House, are very good at doing that. They're very kind of yeah, they're really good at kind of exposing the issues that we don't usually consider. I really like that. Oh, there's the ticking clock. And you'd already actually mentioned it was self-portrait at the time, so that's what it's called. finally, would you recommend it? And do you think anything could be have done better? You know, or do you think, you know, yeah.
I think maybe if they had made the art pieces a little bit less abstract and a bit more easy to understand, because obviously there was explanations on the walls, but maybe if they'd made it more like something that makes sense, you don't have to read it fully to understand it. Maybe that could
Yeah.
have helped.
Yeah, I was also commenting to Wylan on his call about when there's lots and lots and lots of things in an exhibition, it can become quite overwhelming, and actually you need a lot of time to process everything, and you're never going to get around everything. So in a way, the fewer artworks, the better, in my opinion. So you can actually have a chance to really immerse yourself in it. I also remember it being very busy when we were there, which made it quite difficult to view all the works. And actually that's the case often in London, isn't it? You can't get to any gallery without being surrounded by crowds, which is not always fun. But yeah. And so you recommend it, would you?
Oh yeah, for sure. It was amazing.
Great. No, I would. I don't think it's on anymore, but the Somerset House exhibitions are always really good. Great. Well, thank you very much for that, Louisa. We will, we'll sign off now, and I'll just stop press record.